Here's the case for why NIL and the transfer portal might not be ruining Cinderellas. For the record, my bracket sucks. I picked a lot of Cinderellas. I love to bet underdogs, so I was a little salty, did a little research, and found some interesting things. Number one, Cinderellas are far less common than I thought. I went back through the last 10 March Madness tournaments and wrote down every 6 seed or worse to make the Sweet 16. And when you boil it down, there's like 5.5 real Cinderellas, like the ones we're looking for, the fun ones. The real disruptors are usually teams from major conferences and or take basketball pretty seriously at their school. So we're not surprised when Syracuse or UCLA goes on a run. Number two, we got addicted to these monster upsets. We had 3 consecutive years of a 15 seed going to the Sweet 16. We saw 16s beating 1s. And I think that has warped all of our brains in a way where we see a 12 beat a 5 now and we're like, nah, that doesn't do it for me. McNeese over Clemson. No. I need the good stuff. I need the strong stuff. Give me a 15 so I can feel something. On top of that, there's so much content out there, so much stuff that even when we see some upsets now, we're like, oh, everybody had that. Everybody saw that coming. And I think we see evidence of this in the betting market. For example, Colorado was a 12 and they were favored over Memphis, who was a 5, which had only happened twice since 2005. So as a result of the sharper betting market, when Colorado State beats Memphis, we're like, that's not even an upset. They were favored. Number 3, let's be honest, it takes a little bit of luck. Yes, this Loyola Chicago team was legit, but I mean, look, 2-point win, 1-point win, 1-point win. Some things got to go your way. St. Peter's, overtime, 3-point win. Oral Roberts, 3-point win in overtime, 3-point win. Meanwhile, this year, we were a buzzer beater away or a travel away from seeing Colorado State advance to the Sweet 16. Not to mention Michigan and UC San Diego. Damn close game there. Number 4, I think the bigger schools are feeling more pressure than ever. And while this is probably a result of NIL and the portal, I think the effect on the coaching market is being understated. For example, NC State made a Final Four last year. They fired their coach this year. Given the amount of financial investment that the schools are putting into the players and the boosters, that means shorter leashes for coaches. If you don't perform, we got to make a change because we're spending way too much money on this roster. So a shorter leash at the top means they're hiring the guys from the smaller schools. Here's half a dozen smaller schools that made the tournament this year. The highlighted ones, they won their first game. This is also a list of programs that just lost their head coach. And lastly, number 5, is it possible that the committee is better at making the tournament than they ever have? You want ratings? Make sure you get the big, well-known programs to move on as far as they can. Also, remember they said that one and dones were going to destroy the sport? And is it a coincidence that some of the most chaotic years were right after COVID, where guys were getting granted 5th and 6th years? Look, NIL and the portal could very well be the biggest factors, but these are a couple things that I hadn't considered.